followed by the pound key.
And that's good.
Please say your name, followed. You are the first participant in the conference.
Derek Behrens
Has joined.
Has Eric signed that?
I don't know.
All right, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes of the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Motion Stanger and a second Derby to approve the minutes on the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Discussion with possible action.
Julie has joined.
Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies. Julie, is there anything you'd like to enlighten us with?
Hi guys, how are you this morning?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just wanted to make sure y'all got that email I sent last week about the new guidelines for isolation. They went from the 72 hours that you had to wait after a fever to 24 with no fever and all the other symptoms. A person with the symptoms of COVID isolate until all three of these things happen, no fever for 24 hours, which is the new one, and other symptoms have improved, and at least 10 days have passed since their symptoms have first appeared. So the fever was the only new thing. Otherwise, that's kind of all I have. By my math and calculation, I believe Winnebago County has 40 active cases, and we had 69 people have tested and 29 have recovered. Any questions?
Is that since the beginning?
Yes, from the very beginning, yep. But as of right now, today, I have 40 active cases.
You consider that pretty good? 69 cases only?
Well, when you look at Sarah Gordo, would they have 500 and something?
Yeah, but their population's a lot higher.
Hancock's got over 100.
I think Hancock has jumped too. I didn't look at theirs. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
They're over 100, I know.
Let me pull theirs up.
It's 0.006% of the population, that's all.
Yeah, let's see. Hancock is at where are they at? They're at 105 that since the beginning, but then you got to go back to the recovery part to see what their percentage is. Let's see, and they've had 74 recovered, so they have 31 active right now. So, and the state's still doing our contact case tracing right now. We've turned that over. So, otherwise I have nothing new. Still keep on doing your due diligence and wash your hands. Stay 6 feet away from each other and do the best we can.
Okay, anything else for COVID policies? Okay, then we'll move on to item number 3. Thank you, Julie.
Welcome. I do have a couple meetings this morning, so we'll see if anything's changed. I know they're supposed to be coming out with new guidelines or suggested guidelines for the schools and the colleges. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. All right, consider appointment to magistrate nominating commission.
Talked to Teresa Fritz and I talked to Lori and she said it was okay to appoint.
Really? Hey, Carol, are we scraping that?
Is this the thing where it's, he will remain nameless? I can't say his name. I guess I'd make a motion to appoint David Peterson to the Magistrate Nominating Commission.
I'll second that.
A motion from Derby and a second from Stensrud to appoint Dave Peterson
There, I
to
said
the magistrate nominating commission. All in favor, say aye.
it.
Aye.
Aye.
You've been railroaded.
Will you accept the position?
I will accept the position.
I didn't think he had a choice.
I did ask him if he wanted it, so.
I was assuming so.
I figured it was the only reason he was here on a drainage day.
No, I'll be out here before the train.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that hurts.
That was pretty low.
Unappreciative.
He knows it's time, so he's got 7 minutes.
Consider for approval, SHRM class for auditor.
We talked about this last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the $1,200 for SHRM class for auditor.
I'll second it.
Which, for that's HR class, human resources class, just for the public consumption, I suppose. Okay, on a motion from Stenzer and a second from Derby to approve the SHRM class for the auditor. All in favor, say aye.
Hold on just a sec. And we talked last week about taking it out of 54, where we'd pay Mike Galloway.
Yeah.
Is that still what you want me to do, or?
It seems logical.
That's
that they're-
logical, it's HR, that's usually what both of those are there, what's spent out of there, so
Okay.
this is HR, so.
Add that to my motion then.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll second that part of it.
And then we're all in favor once again.
Aye.
Aye. $75. 75.30, yeah, she did. I can never.
There are 3 participants.
Hello.
We're ready for you.
All right, beard up.
Well, did they get any, leads on who was driving around shooting windows out?
Yeah, I think Minnesota might have some video equipment on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thinking Buffalo Center needs to buy 5 cameras. One on each end of Highway 9, and one on the South Mill Road, and one on North Mill Road, and one on Main Street there at the going out of town and whatever covered, so at least we can see who came into town.
Bunch in Buffalo Center.
Yeah, they drove around and shot out, well, they hit Blue Earth,
They hit Blue Earth, Frost, Rake.
Frost and Rake and Buffalo Center. They must have made a loop down
Oh,
the interstate. I would guess it was protesters that had just gotten thrown out of Seattle on their way home. And they decided to make a loop.
Probably been.
Thompson's too peaceful of a town to have something like that.
Yeah, no, well, no, they weren't going to Thompson. They know that's a high crime district.
We
They were scared.
We had our week.
The vandals were scared to go.
A lot of them.
Oh, what did they get? A dozen?
Let's say,
Or
I was
20?
thinking closer to 20.
I think it was 20 now. I think
In
about
Buffalo
it.
Center?
Buffalo Center Rake, I think.
And then Blue Earth lost at least one plate glass window at a business and a bunch of car windows.
Yeah, they shot one out right down by my dad's, but they drove right by his place. My daughter stays down there because she's allergic to the cat, and they drove by. Well, maybe I don't, because they shot one. They must have come up, must not have went by the driveway, but one of my vehicles was sitting out there, so it was only a block away from 2 of them that got shot out.
Yeah, great fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, geez, it's pointless. Darn inconvenient for people who had to get up in the morning and go to work.
There's a bunch of no lines out there.
Scott?
Morning.
Work.
My big update for today is we had cold in place recycling scheduled for Thursday, got pushed to next Tuesday. So I see the surveyors are putting stakes along the paving projects out there, so marking the stationing for the projects. And we expect them to start on cold in place recycling from Scarville, headed west on A16, and that's kind of as far as we know at this point. We have a pre-construction meeting for 3 bridge projects with Rognus Brothers on Monday, and hopefully they can get started in the next couple weeks. But that's all I know on those as well.
Which bridges is that?
There are 3 of them. There are two bridges north of Friesenberg and Larson in the same mile. And then there's one down south, maybe 2 miles or 3 miles north of Woden. It's on a gravel road too. These are pretty low. Well, the south one's pretty low traffic. One north is a little bit more, but
Depends if they're hauling or not.
yeah, still on gravel anyway. And I know that Joe knows that those bridges are slated for this year, so Joe Larson.
I suppose right now they can't really use them anyway, can they?
Well, they shouldn't be. They're posted pretty low. But we don't monitor that. In any case, they have 60 working days starting yesterday, 20.
The only way they'll get in trouble is if they end up like Tony Cordu's. He had his gravel truck loaded a little too heavy, and he went through a bridge, and when he came to, he got out and shoveled all the gravel off so the DOT wouldn't see how heavy it was. He was a big man. That was in Cassuth County.
Yeah, I figured as much. So that's what I know in construction right now.
I have nothing. It's, I do, got another call for Rice Lake, those trees.
We,
Have you talked to the DNR? Sounds like there's a little mix up there in recording the deeds and.
I talked to the park ranger a little bit. Well, he'd emailed me. And I'm doing some research on the right-of-way through there, because if you go to Beacon, it doesn't show any right-of-way through there. And it looks like There's some old surveys that show the road right away, but I can't find any transfers. So that's kind of maybe a side issue that I'll work on. But conservation did go up there and spray it for a second time to try to kind of burn the brush back. So hopefully that has the effect that they're hoping for. Separately, he said there are a couple dead trees kind of leaning over the road, which I suppose is something we should look into getting removed. It's pretty thick along there. I mean, if you go up there, it's
Yeah,
a trick to keep the brush back far enough.
I talked to somebody about that too, I can't remember who it was. Ran into someone who brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some nice trees within 2-3 feet of the road, you know. So it's not like you could just take 15 feet and just cut everything down. I mean, you could, but I don't think that's what everybody wants out there. So it's kind of like trying to manage the scrub brush and take care of the nicer trees.
So Harris told me that they're not even sure who owns it.
Well,
Whether it's Rice Lake Country Club or DNR.
yeah, I mean, the issues are right up next to the road, so, yeah, I understand.
There should be a right of way.
There should be, that's what I'm trying to
Doesn't look like
say.
there is.
Is it
Yeah,
looks like there should be 66-foot right of way all the way through there. But it looks like there is some technicalities with how that was done. I mean, you know, we've paid for paving and we've taken care of the road like it's our own, so. Even if there weren't official transfers, I think everybody would recognize that it should be road right away, and if we did some paperwork to clean it up or something, that'd be the right thing to do. So I'll look into that further.
is Highway 9 open yet? The bridges?
They haven't closed it.
Highway 9,
Closed it
The
yet?
one was open.
Biferdal's open, and then this one here is only supposed to have lane closures.
Oh,
One here by our 74 going north.
yeah.
So until they're kind of done with the underneath part and moved up to the bridge deck and taking the guardrails off, I don't think you'll see a lot of restrictions. That's what I was told anyway. They're building a culvert underneath the bridge, filling in the gaps, and then just kind of cutting the rails off.
Oh.
It's kind of an interesting project.
Huh.
So they won't even disturb the pavement.
That's what I understand. So,
That's interesting.
I don't know if they'll do a little touch up, because I think probably not perfectly smooth, and no bridge is, so I'm not sure if they'll do any kind of surface treatments or not. But as I understand, the bridge deck will stay, so.
Whether that's part of that project or not.
And it's a culvert?
Yeah, well, it's
How do they-
They're building a box culvert, they're kind of pouring it as they go, is that what it is?
right, cast in place. It's currently a bridge
Yeah,
and being replaced
are
with
they
a box
pouring it
culvert.
right up against the bridge itself, the slab?
Well, the bridge, I don't know, I have no idea, but I'll take a guess and say maybe it's 30, 40 feet long. And the pipe that we have upstream of it, I think, is a 96-inch diameter pipe. So it's like quite a bit smaller, so the bridge is overbuilt in the beginning. And so they'll build a culvert underneath of it, have quite a bit of extra space and fill all that with some sort of flowable mortar or something like that.
Was that a clear span originally?
Yeah.
I think it was a single span bridge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just piers, or abutments on both ends and a slab across, I think. So it's wide open.
Supported.
Yeah, wide open underneath, I think. I don't think there's any mid-span piers in there.
To do the very top, do you pump it in there, or do you?
I think what they'll do is
go pour it down?
I think they'll put the box underneath, and then they'll kind of put concrete walls to seal in the sides, fill in the gaps between the bridge and the box, and then they'll drill some holes through that, or leave some holes in there, and then pump grout into it with a pump.
That is kind of an interesting process.
Yeah,
Never heard of that being done before.
but if it can be done under traffic, that's always a better option.
You want solid brick.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's, okay. Anything else for secondary roads? And we move on to number 6, consider for approval resolution to purchase equipment for secondary road department.
So there's a resolution for approval. Eric worked with the Ford City Auto Center, the GM dealer, and Ford City Ford dealer, and trying to get apples to apples quotes and come up with this package to trade in the Trailblazer, total cost of $33,880. Between the 30 and 35,000 that we were expecting, so. Once this, if you guys approve it today, Eric's gonna go back to him and make sure that there's anything we can adjust to expand the search for existing vehicles out there in case we can get a better deal on one that's out there. There are a few different things that don't show up in the system, or they can mess with the search a little bit, that they can add after the fact or something. So once they know that they have the bid, that they could, do some things with the package details in order to search and see if they can find something less expensive. So this is the worst case scenario, the highest number. We'd ask you to approve the Ford bid, the lower of the two.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion Stenger and a second from Derby to approve the purchase of equipment for secondary road department and a half-ton pickup. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Right there, go ahead. Number 10.
It's 10. Oh, now it's 9, I thought it was 9:30. Look at it on here. Okay, number 10, 9:15 a.m. Rick Hopper, engineer with Jacobson Westergaard, to discuss drainage updates.
Derek, are you on the phone?
Yes, Rick is not available this morning. I'll be covering for him. We are working with Team Services to get a geotechnical report for the ED18 Lat 11 tile improvements through the railroad crossing. Soil conditions out there are extremely poor, and just coincidentally, the railroad, as part of approving our work plan, required a geotechnical report, which will also give us some insight on addressing the poor soils out there. He got a second opinion in conjunction with the contractor as far as the drilling outfit, and another outfit came in that has experience with doing wall points for pulling down water. That was an issue currently. And they said we won't be able to draw water away from the center of the tracks with well points based on the soil conditions out there. And they highly recommended adjusting our bore to another spot where it's better soil conditions based on what's out there. So the next thing would be to get approval for doing the geotechnical report, having Team Services do a survey out there, and then we can put together a report. And it sounds like the soils get better to the northeast towards the road crossing if we can shift up that direction some to get in the soil, that we can do that bore under the railroad without having any deflection on the tracks and causing major issues with Union Pacific that we want to avoid.
So would that be just one total bore if you get close enough to the road?
No, it'd still be a separate bore. And I mean, if adjusting over, we get better soil conditions at the road, we could still bore that. Currently where it's at, it sounds like the best alternative might be to open cut that, which if we could do in conjunction with the road resurfacing, that would be ideal.
It's possible.
Always gonna get satellite now.
Well, will you, if you compact it properly with the right aggregates?
You can, the better you compact it, the better it'll do. But that, that's pretty deep through there, so I'd expect you'd see a little settlement anyway.
Yeah, through there we have a pretty deep cut with the road cross section. In an ideal world, we'd pack it with gravel and just let that sit for a year. Another option we do is have them bring in bigger material that's easier to compact and have aggregate in there. Of course, aggregate as far as having a compacted subbase instead of the native soils.
Well, so you still have to do all your geological surveys?
Yep, we'll have to do that for the railroad portion. We were primarily just focused on getting the testing done there. I haven't been able to get a hard number from Team Services yet. We just requested a quote from them for doing these surveying last week. And just this morning, I got him to give me a rough estimate around about $5,000 on their end to do the soil borings for the test. And then we'd be looking at a day or two of our time putting together the report to send to the Union Pacific and RailPro people.
Well, educate me on this, and when you bore, you don't disturb the soil around it, do you?
Ideally, no, but with soft sugar sand out there that we have, it can start flowing down into the bore. It doesn't have structural support to hold itself up, basically, and it could develop voids under the tracks and create a mess in that sense. Ideally, we get over to some clay, and then it will have no problem supporting itself and supporting the bore through it and everything, which sounds like about 50 to 75 feet to the northwest, we'd be getting into good clay material just from what the contractors found on site.
What's this gonna add for the cost?
As far as the geotechnical report, we'd be looking at approximately $7,500. It'd be hourly in our time, and then whatever the final numbers are from the boring outfit, which we should be able to get hard numbers from them a little later this week, but looking at around 5,000 on their end, and approximately, or not to exceed 2,000 on ours. So I would think around 7,000 overall for that, and it should be minimal as far as extra material if we do move it. We're basically would just use some from the other side of the road and put it on the south side of the tracks instead, as far as shifting up further north. So that should not change much on the overall project there.
So you're looking at close to 15,000 total?
No,
You said 7,000?
7,000. 7,500, not to exceed, I would think.
But it's
For
5
the
for the
geotesting.
survey for the
Yeah.
geo and
Yeah.
2 for them, so it's only 7.
So the route, the planned route, say you move it 75 foot to the northeast, does it go directly to the original crossing of the road from that point then?
It would probably be shifted over where we do our road as well, just to shorten our length of pipe overall, and to make the corner there, it's pretty tight.
Yeah, we don't want too many corners.
No, that's where I envision we would shift that over, which would cut down on our pipe and keep it pretty close to where we're at now. I envision adding maybe 20 feet of pipe. It shouldn't be much.
How close to the railroad property has he buried pipe?
He's, I believe, 300 feet out. I think he's at the elbow prior to, at about 8 plus 25, which is, 300 feet. He wanted a little room in case something like this happened, just with his experience with boring. So we're fortunate there. He can make some adjustments from that point, and it won't be a problem.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. The railroad's always not pleasant to deal with, and then bad soils just kind of magnify it. We're kind of coming to the realization that you guys have a lot of sand over there.
In that area for sure.
Yep, and down at 11, definitely.
How's it going with DD11?
He actually is getting pipe delivered today for the change order to the 96-inch corrugated metal pipe for that stretch along the hog barns. And they'll start deliveries today, and then he's going to start digging tomorrow and should be able to have that stretch in a day or two, hopefully, if it goes well.
Very good.
Be glad to be past that, certainly.
Then it should pick up a little bit.
Yep, yeah, he's kind of getting it figured out with having another excavator doing his side slopes, pulling those back while he's pulling out the cut down the flow line. And after he kind of got a feel for it, that was going pretty quick for them. So, yeah, he should be able to focus on that. Thankfully, it's not holding him up over at 18, lat 11. He can just focus on this and should be able to get a lot done here.
Good.
There may be trouble getting pipe for the concrete portion of it, the RCP further up where we end the ditch. Sounds like there's shortages of pipe now. I don't know if it's COVID related, but hopefully they can get deliveries out there for them so there's no holdups there. But sounds like that could be a concern down the road here, is them getting pipe on site.
Hey, Derek, did you happen to get a report done for the lower end?
We are working on that now. I want to get a little more surveying downstream to the river. Conditions out there are not great, and we're actually going to take a boat down and get a little more survey information down to where it kind of turns into the sloughs along the highway there, and hope to get that wrapped up here in the next few weeks.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll be asked about that area.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have anything else for him?
No.
All right, thanks for calling in, Derek.
All right.
Certainly. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Okay, number 7, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I didn't have anything else today.
Derek Barons.
Has left.
Anybody else got anything for drainage?
So how is this, trying to think, this transfer of dirt, is there another place there's gonna be, or did we already haul dirt, or are we going to be hauling dirt
We will be taking it to DD1
from where?
from over by the hog buildings. There's some from there, and then there was gonna be another
I
spot.
didn't know if it was too much sand in it, or
That I don't know. I haven't asked that question.
I never thought of it before.
Yeah, the odds of it being a little sandy here, probably pretty good.
We'll just have to look.
Because it was good before they got to that point, but
Okay. We'll move on to number 8, consider for approval 2020 drainage tax levy.
And if you get any questions on DD5 Lot 5, that's the one that A1, we actually are finally billing that out this year because he did the work in July of last year. So if you get questions from landowners, that's why it's just taken this long to get him done, to get it all billed. I think people are pretty happy about getting letters well beforehand so they know the bills are coming. I think that's been a good thing.
do those need to be stamped?
I have to change the names, because it's got on the part there for who made the motion.
Okay, I still haven't got the stamps.
I usually stamp one of them.
Just those.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we gonna stamp these, or?
Yeah, you stamp those.
Stamp one of those and then we just do the resolution too.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2020 drainage tax levy.
Second.
Motion from Derby and a second from Stetser to approve the 2020 drainage tax levy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is that B and B in here?
It should be. 88,000?
Yep.
Right, let's keep those together.
Okay, number 9, consider for approval pay estimate number 1 to B&B Farm Drainage for DD 18 Lot 11 improvement project. One of these needs to be stamped.
Yeah, just one. Fine.
You know where you stand on it? How much have they done? I haven't been up there.
That's the one Derek was just saying that he's gotten within 300 feet of the
Oh.
railroad.
I just went by it this morning.
Yeah,
Make a motion to approve that.
To approve what?
The pay estimate. Number 9.
I'll second it.
Okay, and a motion from Spencer and a second from Derby to approve the pay estimate number 1 for B&B Farm Drainage for DD 18 Lot 11 improvement project for $88,560. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. While you're here, under claims, what is it we pay Worth County IT $4,800 for?
that was, I believe, for,
It was under 911.
yeah, so something that she had gotten from them. I would have to ask Jennifer what it is, but I can bring in the claim if you want. I don't recall exactly what they did.
I remember talking, we had both the IT guys there, something to do with
That was for Woodward Vetco.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions on claims?
Looks like we might have gotten an expensive mailbox somewhere along the way.
That must be secondary roads, I don't know the answer. Becky enters her own claims, so I don't know.
$250 for a mailbox.
Really?
Saw it in that.
I thought there was a
This
match.
time of year? Or is there one that they just finally paid for?
It looks like it's one of those or the block ones, and,
Yeah, but did it this time of year?
well, it might just get to the fixing, I don't know.
Yeah, don't delay in that.
I think it was a reimbursement to somebody, so.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you for your support.
Yes.
Open forum.
This is the Sherm thing. And then this is for you to sign.
else for open forum? And we'll move on to number 12, consider for approval of semi-monthly county claims.
I do have, I left something in the printer.
Let's see, there's one claim here, it was pretty much a suck hole day. 3 suck hole days.
Over there, eh? Yeah, I got an email from Sandy on that meeting yesterday.
Yeah,
All the email said was, Sandy, will you please set up this meeting? And there was no attachment or anything. So then said, so I sent it to you. So then I looked at the email again, and there's the 3 little dots that you get, which usually it's just your options to do whatever. And then I pushed the 3 little dots, and then all the information for the email came up when the meeting was and all that. So
huh.
I'm like, she sent me that, I was gonna ask her about it, and I forgot about that. But, so I said, did you get along with Barry all right?
Well, I wasn't invited to the meeting, so I wasn't there.
Well, I thought they wanted to make it, didn't
They came up and said hello.
Hi, guys. It was held down here at Public Health and it went very well.
they? Did it?
With the new region?
Yep.
Yep, it went very well. Yep.
Yeah, hopefully it'll all work out.
Yes, I signed our end of our contract for, we have a couple clients that they see, and, they have their board meeting today, I believe Melissa said.
Yeah, you wanna ride what?
What time? I have 2 at 10 o'clock. Do someone come listen to one of those for me?
Yeah, we can stop. Well, it's, so far, I'm not gonna worry about it as much as I used to, the old mental health meetings. I really
Yeah,
like
no.
those of them.
It went very well, so it was good to finally put faces with names when we emailed back and forth and stuff, so.
Yep.
Carl, do we need to stamp this approved?
Yeah, well, yeah. Then I can just give it to Chris.
She asked for this letter to be read. Should we read it?
Oh, you wanna read that, we'll go back to open forum here. You gonna read
It's a
it?
letter, yeah, you can keep signing. It's a letter from Maryland Castle concerning wind turbines to the supervisors. I'm writing this letter to you, the Winnebago County Supervisors, as a concerned resident of Winnebago County in regard to the wind turbine energy project being implemented in Norway Township. My husband and I live 1 mile north of Lake Mills on Highway 69. Our neighbor just north of us is considering placing a wind turbine on his property. In observing wind turbines over the years, I have noticed they have greatly increased in size from when they were first implemented. Also, over time and years of experience with wind turbines, this has given research the chance to investigate environmental and adverse health issues that go along with the use of wind turbines. My main concern is the setback restrictions that are presently in place. I understand that right now a wind turbine can be located just 1,600 feet from my residence door. With all the possibilities of adverse health and infrasound issues that can frequently be present with wind turbines, I feel this distance is way too short. There has been much documented about sleep disturbances and noise annoyances that go along with wind turbines. And this deeply concerns me. I personally feel it should be a mile from a resident. At present, we have a nice little neighborhood of 10 to 12 families in our area that are fully functioning and lively. We are not the only ones this intervention of wind turbines could affect. I do feel landowners are generally not concerned about their neighbors' well-being, or maybe not informed enough to make a good conscious decision. This is where you come in as county supervisors. We have elected you to fulfill the responsibility of protecting us as citizens in matters like this. This brings me to my next concern. All these things add up and will definitely affect our property values. I doubt we will not have any new residents moving into our neighborhood either. There is a huge set of data that suggests a decline in rural property value is inevitable. Is the energy company going to compensate us for this? Is it possible for you to consider a property value guarantee? I would appreciate if you would read this at your next meeting and give it some discussion. Please contact me for any questions or discussions. Thank you for your time. Maryland Castle. So,
Do you want me to put it on the agenda for next
yeah,
week?
we obviously can't discuss it today.
Anybody read through this, House File 2512? Has to do with zoning, and they changed it to where we can't hold a public hearing on anything that the zoning commission's possibly gonna change until their report is final. And has to do with, and then they changed it so that the appointed commission no longer is just rural, it's also includes any elector. I don't know if you want to look at that. There's that webinar, ICAP's got a webinar on it on Thursday, explaining it.
Yeah, I sent that to all of you, didn't I?
Yeah,
Okay. I sent it to Matt too.
there was another one too, but it was only about the agricultural experience thing. I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
Motion from Derby, and second from Center to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Who would be the contact person for our flights?
I have an email.
Can you forward that to me?
Yeah.
I need to get mine straightened out.
Is this gonna include windmills, you think?
Well, that's, I don't know. They don't identify windmills in there.
It says other, what does it say after? What does it say after barn building, barns and,
Land, farmhouses, farm barns, farm outbuildings, other buildings or structures.
Yeah, I guess it'd be structures.
It's a structures.
We can discuss it, but we can't have a public hearing.
so it's really more up to the zoning board. You know where they're at on this?
That passed, it's signed by the governor.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
Or other buildings or structures that are primarily adapted for use for agricultural purposes under this section.
so that more targeted at hog buildings
Hog buildings possibly.
and cattle buildings, I suppose. Chicken farms. Anybody heard anything on the Rembrandt? Sounds like all the caged ones are closed down.
Is that right?
They're gonna cover all the fans. As It's just free range, all they're gonna have out there.
Oh, really?
Big cutback. Not like it's a loss, big loss for taxes, but the jobs.
Why, there's too many eggs in the world, or?
Well, there's been a glut of eggs, yeah, right now, and the demand is in the free range. Now, why they can't convert the other ones to free range,
So
but
really, the only real difference is what they feed them.
it's the conditions they,
I mean, yeah, they have conditions differences there, but with the quality of the egg,
it
it's.
takes more manpower to pick the eggs for one, and
Yeah, but as far as the, if you get the organic eggs or whatever, if you read the box, the nutritional value of them is better than the eggs that you buy at the store. You just take the organic and then look and then read the, the percentage of your daily requirement of all different nutrients. But
that's organic.
yeah, but even if you get like farm eggs, we get from a couple other ones, one guy retired from it, but and those eggs there have a much darker yolk and thicker
Consistency.
white, yeah, there you go. And it depends on what you feed them, as far as the quality of the egg. I mean, you can feel good about the chickens being free range, but it really doesn't do much for the egg.
You gotta have grass.
Grass, bugs, all that stuff.
And then we go back to salmonella.
How's that?
That's where they pick up salmonella is the ground.
Oh, there, yeah. The kind that runs right through the chicken into the egg.
Same with pigs.
Never heard of it. It goes through the digestive system.
I liked Walmart's policy on masks. They went, all their stores, you have to have a mask. Then they came out and said, well, we're not gonna enforce it.
Well, it's just like, they don't want you to shoplift, but they aren't gonna prosecute shoplifters either. Here a while back, Walmart announced that it costed more to prosecute them or something.
We've had the hippies in power and now their kids are coming into power.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah, I said it was.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I missed
Yeah,
it.
we stand adjourned.
Julie has left.